Tyler kids, remember what we talked about this morning, okay? We want to continue representing ourselves well, okay? You guys have done a great job with that. So we're moving on to our semifinals and final round of the Quiz Bowl, and unless I'm forgetting anything else, Mrs. Strode?
Nope, you're good.
Okay, so the first semifinal matchup will be River A as our 1 seed and Shortline A as our 4 seed. Can I please have those teams report to the stage? And I'll hand it over to Mrs. Miller.
I'm nervous and I'm not.
All right, I have one more thing I need to remind everybody of. So Quiz Bowl is a little bit different than watching a sport. You can't cheer, clap, talk. You got to be silent the whole time until the very end of the last match, correct? So when the match is over, you're able to clap. But during the match, nothing at all, okay? Thank you.
Okay, first of all, congratulations on making it to the finals. Okay, our first match is River, correct, on this side, and Shortline. Okay, we're going to do our buzzer test, and then also please state your name for Mrs. First name only, slowly, okay? So let's start with River, contestant 1.
Alice.
2.
Garrett.
3.
Keller.
4.
Kennedy.
And 5.
Striker.
Okay, and now for Shortline. 1.
Zane.
2.
Grayson.
3.
Lincoln.
4.
Sydney.
And 5. Okay, is everyone ready? Want to take a deep breath? Okay. Number 1. Tactics in this sport include the pork-scoff ploy and the sloth grip roll. The Wronski feint was performed at this sport's 1994 World Cup. The 3 types of balls used in this sport are quaffles, bludgers, and snitches.
River 1. Quidditch.
And that is correct, Quidditch. Number 1, for 10 points each, answer the following about foxes in children's literature. A, in this 1999 picture book by Julia Donaldson, a mouse scares a fox and other predators by making up stories about the tidal monster, which turns out to be real. The correct answer is the Gruffalo. 1B. This British author wrote about a clever chicken thief in Fantastic Mr. Fox. A big friendly giant brings dreams to children in this novel, the BGF. The correct answer is Roald Dahl. 1C. In this developed by Antoine de Saint-Exupéry, a fox helps a childlike alien from a distant asteroid to understand the concept of love. The correct answer is The Little Prince. Number 2. An email this man sent in 2022 titled Fork in the Road was almost identical to the one sent by the OPM in 2025. While saying, "My heart goes out to you," at the 2025 rally, this man gave a Nazi.
River 1. Elon Musk.
That is correct, Elon Musk. 2, for 10 points each, answer the following about a presidential election known as the Revolution of 1800. 2A. In 1800, this man defeated John Adams to become the 3rd president.
River 1. Thomas Jefferson.
That is correct, Thomas Jefferson. 2B. The election was called a revolution because Jefferson's Democratic Republicans won power peacefully from this party led by Adams and Alexander Hamilton.
River 1, Republican.
That is incorrect.
Short line 3,
Democratic.
That is incorrect. The correct answer is the Federalist Party. 2C. Jefferson actually tied in electoral votes with this man, who became vice president after Congress selected Jefferson as president.
River 1, Aaron Burr.
That is correct, Aaron Burr. Number 3. During the One More Day storyline, this superhero makes a deal with a demon and his marriage erased. In his first appearance, this hero fails to stop a fleeing burglar, leading him to learn that with great power comes great...
Short line 1, Spider-Man.
That is correct, Spider-Man. 3. The constellations, Canis Major and Canis Minor, represent dogs that follow this constellation. For 10 points each, name this constellation depicting a hunter.
River 4,
The correct answer is Orion. 3B. The solar system is in one of these curling star-rich structures named for Orion. They are the defining feature of spiral galaxies. The correct answer, spiral arms. 3C. This blue supergiant, which forms one knee or foot of Orion, is usually the brightest star in the constellation.
River 4, North Star.
That is incorrect. The brightest star in the constellation, but is sometimes outshone by Betelgeuse. The correct answer is Rigel. 4. This element lends its name to the geologic period that precedes the Permian period. A single layer of this element makes up graphene, while many layers of it make up graphite. A 10 on the Mohn scale is defined by this element's allotry of diamond. For 10 points, name this element symbolized C.
River 4, Carbon.
That is correct, carbon. 4. Nearly 150,000 people were evacuated from this region in August 2024 after Ukrainian forces entered it. For 10 points each. 4A. Name this Russian state or oblast which shares its name with the World War II battle that was the largest tank clash in history.
River 2,
What is Stalingrad?
That is incorrect.
short line 4,
Gettysburg?
That is incorrect. The correct answer is Kursk Oblast. 4B, this Russian president who invaded Ukraine in 2022,
River 1,
that is correct, Vladimir Putin. 4C, Putin baselessly accused this Western military alliance, known by a 4-letter acronym,
short line 3,
NATO.
that is the correct answer, NATO. Number 5, until 2025, this country's ruling class was dominated by the Alawites and Shiites. It controls the ruins of the ancient trading hub of Palmyra. Cities in this country, like Aleppo, were damaged by its long-running civil war. For 10 points, what Middle Eastern country is governed from Damascus?
River 2,
What is Iraq?
That is incorrect. The correct answer is Syria. Number 5. In 1610, this explorer reached a large bay in modern-day Canada, which now bears his name. For 10 points each. 5A. Name this English-born commander of the Half Moon who made several attempts at finding a Northwest Passage. The correct answer is Henry Hudson. 5B. In 1609, Hudson explored what is now New York City for this European country that later transferred New York to British control.
Short line 3.
Spain.
That is incorrect.
River 2.
United Kingdom.
That is incorrect. The correct answer, the Netherlands. 5C. Hudson worked for the Dutch company of this name. Similar British and French joint stock companies with this name colonized much of Asia.
River 1.
Indian Tea Company.
That is incorrect. The correct answer is the Dutch East India Company. A chorus of these animals annoys the god Dionysus in the underworld in an ancient comedy by Aristophanes. A fictional example of these animals frequently sips tea in memes and sang, "It's not easy being green."
River 1.
A cricket.
That is incorrect. For 10 points, what kind of animal is Miss Piggy's boyfriend, the Muppet?
Short line 2.
Frog.
That is correct, frog. Number 6, materials known as indicators can be used to estimate this quantity. For 10 points each. 6A. Name this measure of acidity known by a 2-letter abbreviation.
River 1.
pH.
That is correct, pH. 6B. This type of paper contains a mixture of indicators derived from licus. Base turns red type blue, while acids turn blue type red. The correct answer is litmus paper. 6C. Indicators such as phenolphthalein are used in this laboratory technique that are beret and add acid or base dropwise to determine an unknown solution concentration. The correct answer is titration. Okay, get your pencil and paper ready. Reed takes a rope whose length is 2 feet and 11 inches, cuts it into 5 pieces of equal length, and needs to know the length in inches of each piece. Since there are 12 inches in one foot,
River 3.
7 inches.
that is correct, 7 inches. And the winner is River.
Please listen up. Aislinn Henthorn, Lane Moser, and Jackson Hott, please go to the nurse's office.
Okay, can we have Tyler A and Tyler B please come to the stage? Okay, we're going to do a quick buzzer check, and also if you will state your first name. Okay, we'll start with this team. Player 1,
Jacob.
player 2,
Colton.
3,
Donovan.
4,
Sophie.
and 5. Okay, and this team, player 1,
Luke. Damien.
Kaylin. Amber. Tyler.
and that was all them, not me. Okay. You guys are too fast for her. Okay, are you guys ready? You're going to take a deep breath. Okay. Number 1, a near copy of this painting showing 2 extra columns and a younger subject is named for Isleworth, Marcel Duchamp's piece LHOOQ. Takes a postcard of this painting and adds a mustache. The Louvre owns, for 10 points, what portrait of the subtly smiling?
Tyler 1.
Mona Lisa.
That is correct, Mona Lisa. Okay, 1. This country harshly suppressed by the Falun Gong movement starting in 1999 for 10 points each. 1A. What country regained control of Hong Kong from the UK in 1990?
B1.
China.
That is correct, China. 1B. 2 years after regaining Hong Kong, China regained control of this other city, which had long been under Portuguese governance.
B1.
Shanghai.
That is incorrect.
A3.
Tokyo.
That is incorrect. The correct answer is Macau. 1C. In 1994, China began construction on this dam, the world's largest hydroelectric project. This dam obstructs the Yangtze River in Hubei province.
A3.
The Great Wall of China.
That is incorrect.
B4.
Hoover Dam.
Can you repeat that, please?
Hoover Dam.
That is incorrect. It's the Three Gorges Dam. Number 2. This event was planned by Bayard Rustin and the Big Six leaders, including John Lewis. A speech at this event imagined a future when people would be judged by the content of their character, not by skin color. For 10 points, at what event was the I Have a Dream speech given by Martin Luther King?
A2.
The Washington Monument.
That is incorrect. The correct answer is March on Washington. Number 2. This character's flame chompers are small, beast-shaped grenades that can ensnare other champions who walk over them. For 10 points each. 2A. Name this champion who can change from a rocket launcher to a minigun using her switcheroo ability.
B4.
Batgirl.
That is incorrect. The correct answer is Jinx. 2B. Jinx is among the most popular champions in this Riot Games MOBA title.
B2.
League of Legends.
That is correct, League of Legends. 2C. League of Legends' main gameplay takes place at a locale known as this type of person's rift. In the Final Fantasy series, people with this job can call on beasts such as Ifrit and Rama.
A3.
Trainer.
That is incorrect. The correct answer is Summoner. Number 3. Gaussian elimination is an algorithm that puts these mathematical things into echelon form. The formula AD minus BC gives the determinant for 2 by 2 examples of these things. These things can be added if they have the same number of rows as columns. For 10 points, name these arrays of numbers.
B3.
Array.
That is incorrect.
A1.
Graph.
That is incorrect. It should be matrices. 3, though these kinds of volcanoes have not recently erupted, they still have access to magma. For
A5.
Dormant.
That is correct, dormant. B, signs that a dormant volcano may be becoming active include swarms of these events in which the Earth's surface suddenly shakes.
A3.
Earthquake.
That is correct, earthquakes. 3C, reawakening volcanoes can begin releasing carbon dioxide and this other gas, which has a molecular weight of 64.
A3.
Carbon.
That is incorrect. Nitrogen oxides in this gas are the main contributors to acid rain.
B4.
Sulfur. Sulfur.
That is incorrect. It should be sulfur dioxide. I was hoping you'd say the last part. Okay, 4. One of these animals, named Lafcadio, shot back and is depicted in a Shel Silverstein book. One of these animals is told by his father's ghost to remember who you are in a 1994 film, The Wizard of Oz. Features a cowardly one of these.
A3.
Lion.
That is correct, lions. 4, for 10 points each, answer the following about cats in children's literature. 4A, a cat strikes a bargain with death in The Amazing Morris and His Educated Rodents, an entry in this author's Discworld series. The correct answer is Terry Pratchett. 4B, in a Lewis Carroll novel, this title girl meets the grinning Cheshire cat in...
A3.
Alice in Wonderland.
That is correct, Alice. 4C, in this author's novel, Socks, the title cat feels neglected after a baby is born. The Huggins family searches for a missing dog in this woman's book, Ripsy. The correct answer is Beverly Cleary. Number 5. This creature, who lived in a cave by Lake Lerna, was the source of poison used to kill Jarion and Stymphaeon birds. Eoslaus helped his uncle slay this monster by using a torch to burn its necks. Hercules' second labor was to kill...
A3.
Cerberus.
That is incorrect. The correct answer is Leneon, or Hydra. Number 5. This man went on a 12-day tour of Southeast Asia in September 2024. For 10 points each, question A, name this leader of the Catholic Church.
A3.
Pope Francis.
That is correct, Pope Francis. 5B, the Pope visited a mosque on Java, an island in the most populous majority Muslim country in the world.
B2.
Indonesia.
That is correct, Indonesia. 5C, nearly half of the national population came to see the Pope when he visited a country named for being on the eastern half of this island, which it shares with Indonesia.
B2.
Papua New Guinea.
That is incorrect.
A5.
Philippines.
That is incorrect. It is Timor. 6. As a student, this character stole his rival's talent show act by singing Karma Chameleon.
A3.
Gru.
That is correct. Gru. 6. A screw consists of one of these machines wrapped around a cylindrical axle. For 10 points each, name these simple machines that consist of a sloped surface.
A1.
That is correct, inclined or inclined planes. 6B, this quantity for an inclined plane is given by the length of the slope over the height. This quantity
A1.
is incorrect. This quantity generally equals the output force over the input force. The correct answer is mechanical advantage. 6C, an object can remain at rest on an inclined plane up to one of these quantities of response. The quantities are often denoted theta and measured in degrees.
A3.
Angle.
That is correct, angles. 7, the largest known organism from this kingdom is a specimen of a Astoye in Oregon. Ascocomata and Busidirocan and phyla are in this kingdom, whose organisms contain mycelia, made from slim strands called hyphae. For 10 points, what kingdom of decomposers includes yeast and mushrooms?
A3.
What is fungi?
That is correct. What is fungi? Okay, stay up here. Okay, and we welcome River back to the stage, please. And then it's like all that for that simple question.
Oh yeah. You're like something like that. You should just listen to it. That's why I love it. It's like I think they like slowly reveal. Like for the reader.
Okay, so River, we're going to start with you just to do a quick check. Okay, Mrs. Norcraft, do you still have their order? Okay, so just test 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and then we'll make sure you guys 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, welcome to the championship round. Okay, you guys ready? Okay, number 1. These objects occupy the main sequence on an HR diagram during the period in which they fuse hydrogen in their core. Water worlds may orbit these objects in their habitable zone. Red dwarfs and red giants are types of
River 1.
Stars.
That is correct, stars. For 10 points each, answer the following about inspirations from major films in 1998. 1A, Steven Spielberg's 1998 film, Saving Private Ryan, is set during this war in which U.S. soldiers liberated France from Nazi Germany.
Tyler 2.
World War II, the Battle of Normandy.
Okay, World War II. That's correct. Okay, 1B. The Thin Red Line, another 1998 film setting during World War II, takes its name from a line written by this poet of If and Gunga Din. The correct answer is Kipling. 1C. The film Shakespeare in Love ends with the playwright beginning work on this comedy about the shipwrecked Viola who eventually marries Duke Orsino. The correct answer is Twelfth Night. Number 2. To mark a military site in the city, Mary Pickersgill was commissioned to create a giant U.S. flag. While witnessing an attack on the city's Fort McHenry, Francis Scott Key was inspired to write,
River 1.
The national anthem.
that is incorrect.
Tyler 2.
The Star Spangled Banner.
That is incorrect. They were asking for the city, which was Baltimore, Maryland. Okay, get your pencil and paper ready. For 10 points each, answer these questions about a right triangle whose two longest sides have the length of 16 and 20. 2A. What is the measure of the largest internal angle of the right triangle?
Tyler 5.
90 degrees.
That is correct, 90 degrees. 2B. Given the triangle is similar to a 3, 4, 5 right triangle, what is the length of the triangle's shortest side?
Tyler 5.
5.
Can you repeat that?
5.
That is incorrect. The correct answer is 12. 2C, what is the area of any 12, 16, 20 right triangle? The correct answer is 96. 3. This state's Voyageurs National Park is near its city of International Falls. The Red River of the North separates the state city of Moorhead from Fargo in North Dakota. Duluth is on the shores of Lake Superior in, for 10 points, what state where the Mississippi River runs through Minneapolis?
Tyler 5.
Minnesota.
That is correct, Minnesota. This city is the northern terminus of Amtrak's Cascade lines for 10 points each. A, what Canadian city takes its name from a British naval captain who led a 1790s expedition to the Pacific Northwest?
Tyler 3.
What is Amsterdam?
That is incorrect.
River 1.
Ottawa.
That is incorrect. The correct answer is Vancouver, named for George Vancouver. B, Vancouver is the most populous city in this province on the west coast of Canada, often abbreviated BC.
River 1.
British Columbia.
That is correct, British Columbia. C, the 2010 Winter Olympics were hosted by Vancouver, though many of the skiing events took place in this resort town about 75 miles north of Vancouver.
Tyler 5.
Toronto.
That is incorrect. The correct answer is Whistler. 4. After this god tried to flee in the form of a salmon, his children's guts were used to bind him to a rock beneath a venomous snake. This god is the mother of the eight-legged horse, Sleipnir, and the father of the Midgard serpent. Baldir's death was arranged by, for 10 points, what Norse trickster god?
Tyler 2.
Loki.
That is correct, Loki. 4. This character's minions, who were originally depicted as his children, included Wendy, Roy, and Lemmy. For 10 points each,
River 4.
Bowser.
that is correct, Bowser. B. Muriel Bowser is the current Democratic mayor of the city, home to the Kennedy Center.
Tyler 3.
Cincinnati.
That is incorrect. The correct answer is Washington, D.C. Mary Bowser was a formerly enslaved woman who spied on Jefferson Davis, the only president of this short-lived country.
River 1. Tyler 1.
That is incorrect. Should have been Confederacy or the Confederate States. Number 5. This president ended the U.S. occupation of Haiti as part of his good neighbor policy with Latin America. this president agreed to the Atlantic Charter with Britain and used Lend-Lease to help countries fight the Axis. For 10 points, what president served during most of World War II?
Tyler 2.
Franklin D. Roosevelt.
That is correct, Franklin D. Roosevelt. For 10 points each, name these parts of a river. A, this term refers to the point furthest from the mouth at which the river begins.
Tyler 3.
Basin.
That is incorrect. The correct answer are source or headwaters. B, rivers such as the Nile divide into many separate channels near the sea at these features, which are named for the fourth Greek letter.
River 1.
Deltas.
That is correct, deltas. 5C, brackish water makes up these regions in which the river merges into the sea. The Latin derives their name, indicates that they are affected by the tide.
Tyler 3.
What is confluence?
That is incorrect.
River 1.
Alluvial fans.
That is incorrect. Should be estuaries. Okay, number 6, get your pencil and paper ready. Jared rolls a pair of standard 6-sided dice and needs to know the probability that both dice show an odd number. Since the dice are independent and each die's 6 total numbers include,
River 3.
1/4.
that is correct, 1/4. 6. After his death, this explorer's journey was completed by Juan Sebastian Elcano. For 10 points each, name this man who led the first circumnavigation of the world from 1519 to 1522.
Tyler 3.
Who is Christopher Columbus?
That is incorrect.
River 1.
Francisco Pizarro.
That is incorrect. It's Ferdinand Magellan. B. Though he sailed for the Spanish crown, Magellan hailed from other Iberian country, also home to Vasco da Gama.
River 1.
Spain.
That is incorrect.
Tyler 3.
What is Indonesia?
That is incorrect. The correct answer is Portugal. Magellan died during the Battle of Mactan on the island of Cebu, in which is now this country, which is named for a Spanish king.
Tyler 1.
Mexico.
That is incorrect. The correct answer, the Philippines. Number 7. Wow. Okay.
Well, that concludes the time.
So,
Singing a different music.
okay, pick a number. No, I'm joking. So, okay. Wherever the toss-up questions. Are they like at the end? Yeah. 4, yeah. Is this a toss-up? I don't know what a toss-up is. It just keeps going. Oh, sorry.
Okay, where did you stop?
I stopped. Right here at number 7. Just keep going.
Yeah,
Okay.
4. They get 4.
Okay, 4 questions. Okay, first one. And we're just continuing on our list. Okay. In 2024, a purple mascot for this company became.
River 1.
Grimace.
That is incorrect. Became.
Tyler 1.
McDonald's.
McDonald's is the correct answer. Guys, quiet, please. Number 7, in a conversation with his neighbor, Clarice, this character notes that his wife always complains that he smells of kerosene. For 10 points each. A, name this character who works for Captain Beatty in a novel published in 1953.
Tyler 3.
John.
That is incorrect. The correct answer is Guy Montag. B. Montag is the protagonist of this novel, which depicts a dystopian society in which books are burned.
Tyler 3.
Fahrenheit 451.
That is correct. Fahrenheit 451. C. The author of The Martian Chronicles wrote Fahrenheit 451. The correct answer is Ray Bradbury, or Burry. Is that 4? Okay, so Tyler wins. Tyler won. B-A-B. Okay, will all the Quiz Bowl teams please report to the stage? You want it in front of the stage or Mrs. Strode? Okay, would you please report to the stage? All Quiz Bowl teams, please report to the stage.
Sit right here, use this mic. Okay, Tyler students, listen carefully. I need females only.